working with a computer. So normally you would just look up an entry level marketing coordinator position just like this with your experience level entry associate to find a full time opportunity as well. But yeah, if you come across this, like I said, instead of just easy applying alone and just filling out your details, I would actually talk with the hiring team. This is what a lot of people don't. Yeah. So what do you say, right? How would you build a connection in a real life setting to someone that you know is the decision maker for that role?
Yes.
So you know that this person is hiring. What would you say? Like
Yeah,
pretend like
I mean,
yeah.
I would just say, I would just like introduce myself and provide a little background saying like, I just graduated from college. I have a few internships under my belt. I'm trying to move on to kind of like the entry level, um, entry level starter position in marketing. And I would say like, how, like some of the things I've done with like, Jen and Slack, and kind of give her my overall background and my skills, and then see how I can help her in some way, maybe offer like uh see how I can like provide her some value, I think.
Yeah. Okay, but let's just rewind a little bit. This is a first conversation with someone.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone that you just kind of met? Would you say all of that all at once?
No,
Like,
of course. I think that would be over a few different conversations, but I would just first
there you
introduce.
go.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
keep it simple.
Keep it simple, man.
Yeah.
So if we were to do this right now, and Laura, right, is the hiring manager for that role, what's something that we can say looking at her profile?
Maybe asking her questions about her experience, or asking or I don't really know. Like I've never never really reached out to anybody on LinkedIn. Um,
Wow.
what do I like? What do I say? Do I just like
Well,
it?
let's just say this isn't LinkedIn. This is like in person, right? You
Yeah,
want to build rapport with that person, but you have information to you.
yeah.
So over at MPH, we teach a 3x3, which is taking 3 minutes to realize three things about their profile that you can build rapport with.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're stuck, I guess I'll go ahead and say, okay, they have a background in Georgia Institute of Mechanical Engineering, and she's been pretty consistent with that. She's been an engineer, mechanical engineer, principal mechanical engineer, and now principal for this. So she's been, you can kind of deduct like, hey, it seems like she has a passion for engineering, right?
Yeah.
So, and then she's hiring for the marketing coordinator as well. And then I would read her about page on maybe some of the things that she's working on.
Hmm.
So I'm saying a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, UC Santa Barbara. If you went to UC Santa Barbara, easy connection, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
know their mascot, but you can mention that.
Yeah.
And then if you can see anything that you can gravitate and build rapport off of, that's how people like establish that ground, right? Like, I mean, for example, the small talk first. Hey, we're in San Francisco. We're both here. Look at the sky. Yeah, I hate it when it's foggy. Yeah, it's usually like that.
Yeah.
Not much a base ground, but like this is towards LinkedIn, right? Like, what is a common ground that you have with her that you
For
can
sure.
say?
For
And
sure.
if you don't, and it's kind of hard, you can just applaud her and give her kudos and comments about her job trajectory,
Yeah. I
right?
mean,
So,
I could say something like about how at one point I was gonna go to Santa Barbara, but then decided on Berkeley or something like that. Because that's actually true. Um,
sure, but then like you got to make sure it's very strategic because you have a small
when
message character, small window, right?
oh yeah,
So
for forgot that it's
So be strategic in that, and then like when you just say like, "Hey, I want to go to Santa Barbara, but I chose Berkeley," that may come off a certain way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I would rephrase that, and then just maybe even harp on like, "Hey, really respect the amount of tenure that you have in your career, as well as it seems like you're passionate about, Fulbright and their team." Or mention Fulbright right here. I would go in one step and say, Fulbright engineering, what do they do?
Yeah, they were. Okay.
So this is the mechanical, electrical engineering, but then like usually the company has a mission statement. We work in virtually every industry. Okay. I look forward to speaking about your project needs. Okay. But usually there's a mission statement behind that.
Hmm.
Oh, there you go. Look, Laura Bright is featured in the video,
Oh yeah.
right? I think that's her, right?
Yeah,
Let's see.
I think so. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's her. See, look at that. Just by a little bit of clicking, we went to an article.
Oh,
He's
nice.
featured on the article.
Yeah,
Laura
yeah,
Bright. She's actually CEO. She was just downplaying her title, or maybe that's her title right now. But you can go into this and be more intellectual and say, Laura, like I'm really impressed as I was reading the Fulbright engineering blog about women in engineering and you leading the way, and what you said about it's neat to drive around and see the buildings you participate in really resonated with me, and I want to be a part of a company like that. Do you see how that connects?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is
Definitely.
this is like networking and building rapport 101, man. A lot of
Yeah,
people like you initially, not to pull too much to what you said earlier, because I know it's going to be a gradual conversation, but a lot of people do that up front where I think some person mentioned, they try to marry the person from meet right where they meet them, right?
yeah,
Meaning like they're trying to close so quickly. Hey, how you doing? I saw that job posting. I do this, this, and this. I think I'm a good fit. Let's shake hands.
yeah.
Versus, hey, like, really respect what you're doing. How's everything? Care to talk? And then you open it up.
It's funny too because Dan literally gave me the same advice when I spoke to him. He's just like, yeah,
There you go.
dude. He's just like, it makes more sense for you to build like long-term connections than just applying to jobs. I was just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
So Dan already showed you this process, then you should have implemented it, right?
yeah, for sure. I didn't know exactly that this is what he meant by that, but now it's starting to make sense now that you're going through it. Um,
Yeah, it's in our course as well. So we teach this step by step within the MPH 4-step career course. So you can go back to the module 3 for job search and networking
yeah,
that teaches this, and there are documents you can download as well. That you can start conversations with. Everything's laid out.
gotcha. Um,
But
what?
yeah, I would send a connection request stating and quoting something very, very unique to her that she said. And imagine that was you. Like, wow, you took the time to actually click into our company, learn about our company, and blog on what I said,
For sure.
versus, hey, you were about to say, I applied for this position, I did this,
X,
and
Y, and
this.
Z.
That's it, right? Like, everyone does that. Like,
Yeah, you gotta be different for sure. Um,
yeah,
Another thing I was gonna ask you is what, um, when you apply to a job and it has like 2,000 applicants, is it even worth applying? Or how do
probably
you,
not.
why not?
But I personally, me like Brian Paul still applies, and then I still reach out to the hiring manager like this if they have one,
For sure.
because I think just to have that connection request, right, just to connect with her. Let's just
Yeah.
say I add that note and nothing comes from it. The fact
Uh-huh.
that she accepts my ad means we're connected. And LinkedIn,
Ah,
if you know how it works, it'll still stay connected. And she's gonna see some of my stuff. I'm gonna see some of her stuff she posts,
for sure. Okay,
right?
that's cool.
And I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but I take it a step further by posting content that's relevant to what I want to share, how I want to impact people, and then she might even see that one day and it pops up like, who's this Brian Paul guy? Kind of vaguely remember, and then it's something that resonates with her potentially. Then
Mm,
she likes my content. I can go back and say, hey, notice that you liked it. You probably missed my first message as I'm sure you're busy being a founder, CEO,
mhm.
but would love to reach back out and see if there's any potential fit. I did apply to that position you guys had open. I wonder if it got filled or not. If it did, all good, right? Keep it very nonchalant, not needy, but just like staying top of mind, right?
Okay.
So that's one thing that can happen after that connection. And that's me posting content. Imagine she still doesn't know who I am. She posts different content. It's going to show up right here. Look, she posted this herself. And don't you get notifications on LinkedIn when someone likes or comments on your stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you think is going to happen over here? Like, oh, she posted this new role and people are commenting. There's only one comment.
Yeah,
That
but you
is
come.
less saturated than 2,000 applicants. If you
Yeah, yeah,
comment,
yeah,
you're probably going to stand out, no?
for sure.
Do you see like how this is all like
Yeah,
tied?
yeah, I understand completely. Do you do this for every single application? Like, do you think that makes sense? If it's
I do it for
possible?
most. Yeah. Yeah. Like, why not? Like you taking the easy way route where 99% of people are just applying, and
Okay.
that's why there's 2,000
Yeah,
versus going the extra distance. Who do you think I would want to hire as a marketing coordinator from there?
yeah,
Like, wow, you took the extra steps and really try to stand out off of
yeah,
that.
for sure,
That shows marketing. Yeah.
for
Like,
sure.
I hope you truly understand that because that's exactly the mindset of an expert marketer. Like,
Yeah,
there's so many different stories, right, of that. Yeah.
I uh I get that because I mean, yeah, just like quick, like easy applying, it's literally got me nowhere. So like I have to like reach out to these people and make connections and stuff, and that's pretty.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, look at those TikTok connections that you made and you had results, right? And called back.
Yeah,
Like, they have thousands of followers. How come they responded to us? Did you ever think about that?
yeah. Well, I mean, some of it's because like I looked at their profile for 10, 15 minutes and was like, oh, this person likes a mix of like lifestyle and tech content, or like likes to do like tech reviews on certain items, or like is really uh good in front of the camera. So like I'll mix it up and I'll like kind of like go in detail. Um,
But yeah, like that same process, you're reaching out to them, and not everyone reaches out. They just follow,
yeah,
right? But then you're taking that one step, then you're taking another step of being catered for the reach out.
yeah,
Like,
for
hey, I
sure.
really love your mix of how funny you are and you talk about tech and getting jobs. We're
Hmm,
doing something similar over here. Would love to see if it's a good synergy, right? Or you can say like, hey, Laura, I just love how you created so many different pieces of content out there, and I've been following um, your story on this blog right here, the Code by Engineering blog, and I think it's a company I truly want to work for potentially if you think there's a fit.
sure.
Yeah, you can have those type of companies too. Like literally, that's what I would do personally
Okay.
to stand out with each person.
You think it makes sense for me to just focus on coordinator roles or manager roles? Like if I, or do you think I should just do both and say,
Manager roles are going to be a little bit harder for you to obtain. Usually, since this is just an internship, I'll be honest, internships aren't valued as much as industry experience. So, for example, if you're an intern for, let's just say theoretically for a year versus someone that has 3 years, 3 to 6 months of industry experience, the recruiter's probably going to look at the industry experience person. If that's in a
yeah,
real
for
world
sure.
environment versus just like interning, you're just kind of shadowing here and there, your hours are half or reduced. And it's like, you're doing minimal tasks.
Okay,
Just the
so it
way
makes sense.
yeah, so I would apply to coordinator roles like you are doing, and
Okay.
apply to social media manager roles that you feel like you're a strong fit for. If you think you've done X, Y, and Z. And the thing about marketing is exactly that strategy that I showed you is being very smart about marketing. Like,
Yeah,
if you're a
definitely.
smart marketer, you can get you can get tapped into and connected with a CEO, like if you're that savvy,
Yeah,
while you reverse engineer. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of did it with one company back in April, and he was like, he's like, look, you know, go intern some more, and if you still want to come back to the company, you can. I just so that was like one example, and I feel like I've done it before. I just feel like now I realize I have to do it for everybody instead of just one company and one person. Um, which makes sense because it's really hard. It's like you think it's easy because it's like, oh, LinkedIn will be like, oh, just easy apply, and then you can just spam resumes and send them out and hope that something happens. But it doesn't. None of that works. As much as people
Yeah.
want to, as much as people want to believe it works, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, back then it probably worked more, but now everyone is catching on because of like content and like, yeah, but like imagine this person, Laura, coming through 414 applicants. So one thing you can do from there is change the posting
Oh,
page.
interesting.
Yeah. So you can have under 10 applicants right here, as well as date posted. You can just do 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah. I've done the day posted. I haven't done under 10 applicants. So.
Yeah. So you have that. Of course, that's less results, but you can comb through this within every day because after 24 hours, a new one's are going to right? And
Oh,
you can set alerts for that too. Yeah. So you can set alerts right there. Set alert. There you go.
That's a hack.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go, man. So that alone, you can start coming through these, learn about the company, the role, and then just reach out. And then if they don't have a person to contact, if you truly resonate with that job, this is how sneaky I would get into it, where you just look at the job posted, and it'll show you a trail of how you get back to that company. Volunteer marketing coordinator for this company, and then you look at the company volunteer match. You click on them. You can go into people volunteer match and market what outcomes nonprofit board and open. If you go to people, it'll show you.
Sometimes it does.
Working. Yeah, right here. 257 employees. It shows you all the employees that work for them. And then I would start calling from the people and just control F, maybe a recruiter, right? Or just start going off of one, and it'll show you more and more after that. Yeah, as you keep going, right?
Sure.
You see how I just literally just used what we have and just went step by step.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great plan for sure.
Yeah, so I know it's a lot of extra work, but dude, like, who do you think is doing this right now? Like taking that extra step? That's probably 1%.
Yeah, that's why there's 3,000 applicants for one job.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
Makes no sense.
If I'm the only one doing this, I'm probably gonna get the job out of all three if I literally take, the steps to get there.
For sure. I know.
And then I'll take it one step further. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's just say you connect with someone. Like, let's just say out of these 9 people, you click connect, and maybe like half of them connect with you. Now, whoever connects with you, and you can bet there's people just going to be accepting your thing, right? Vice president partnership. You can look on their profile, you connect with them, you have a coffee chat with them, right? Have a coffee chat with them, even though they might not be directly responsible for that role, for that hiring.
Yeah.
Just have a chat and be like, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. Would love 15 minutes just to learn more about the company, what your insight is. If you get one chat, you're kind of in. If you can build rapport and, you're very good at asking great questions, Oliver, and like I feel like you're a people person. Once you get that going, you can leverage. Oh, by the way, like towards the end of the convo, like that's awesome. Thank you so much for explaining more about Volunteer Mad. I saw that you guys were hiring for a marketing coordinator position. I'm not sure if you'd be the best person, or if you can point me in the right direction. We'd love to have a conversation. And if they like you in that moment, they'll refer you. Like, you know what? I'll actually look into the file, and maybe you want a referral. That's one possibility.
That would be crazy for sure.
Yeah, but that's a possibility.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah,
Um,
like,
what I,
and yeah,
that's right. Um,
finishing
I,
up that thought, then that will lead you to the right person, is what I'm saying. And then they can be like, yeah, you need to talk to Joanne or something in HR. Here's her LinkedIn. So then now you got introduced to that person based off of this,
yeah,
position that
and
was just recently posted, and then now you're in front of everyone.
yeah, and if I, and it's interesting too, because once I, and if I have to meet with Joanne from marketing or whatever, like whoever it is, I can be like, oh, I already met with this person.
Exactly. You build a rapport like, wow, you met with Samir.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
Joanne's
yeah,
gonna end the call with you and say, hey,
yeah, yeah,
Samir, I just talked to this Oliver guy. He seems pretty cool. He asked me about the marketing position. What do you think of him? Oh, I had a conversation with him. Seems like a very down to earth guy. Seems like he knows what he's talking about. Did some sort of internship at MPH, and then he can look into our company and be like, oh, okay, the founders Brian Qua. And then he looks into mine and is like, okay, there's some credibility right there. Maybe he might even ask me, hey, what's up with this Oliver guy? I've
yeah,
asked for you, and it comes back all together, full circle.
yeah,
Boom,
for
you're
sure.
hired. You see
Yeah,
that?
yeah, for sure. That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's how you navigate the whole conversation in regards to networking and being a step above the status quo of just
Yeah,
applying and easy applying. And you're sending a message as well, right?
yeah, I can definitely do that. It's not that hard. I think most people overcomplicate it, but you broke it down pretty simply. Um, I liked it a lot. What I
There
wanted
you
to
go,
ask,
man.
what I wanted to ask you was, and this is kind of like thinking way ahead, but because I don't really know how to tackle this or think about this, how do I know how much like social media coordinators get paid? Like if I'm looking at like the the what they're offering, like how do I know what's good or what's worth it or what's not worth it? Because I actually don't know.
Well, first of all, I'd say like this advice to anyone just starting off. I wouldn't harp too much on the pay. Usually, any payment over nowadays it should be over 40, 50.
Yeah,
Take it as you're learning from an
yeah,
actual company to gain experience and network,
for
first and foremost. But to answer your question, technically, sometimes they'll list it right here and they'll show you the pay.
mhm,
Um, if they don't, you can look on Google, just a quick search,
yeah,
right? But with the city that you're in as well, right? So coordinator salary, then if you put San Francisco, give you a quick average estimate,
yeah.
right? And if you keep seeing trending, like, okay, I'm not even gonna entertain the 100K because entry level 100K is pretty out there. But I would say an average of 50 to 70K to maybe even 80K. I see
Okay.
that twice right here and here. So I'm gonna propose that around 40 to 80K is the median expectations. And if you aim too high, right, you're gonna think, okay, all these opportunities you're saying no to when that wasn't even like possible, right? But this
Yeah,
130K is probably like a one-off,
that's
very
insane.
rare scenario. Yeah,
Yeah,
see, this website built in SF is giving you an average right here, and they're just putting out crazy max, which honestly, no coordinator I know ever is getting paid 130. You're telling me you can make as much as a software engineer as a coordinator? Come on now.
doesn't make sense.
Let's be realistic, right? It doesn't make sense.
That
Like,
makes sense.
so yeah, I would say the average right here is like that. And then some websites will naturally pop up, such as Glassdoor.
Yeah,
See, like the
uh,
64, and then
that's
you're
a good
basically
website.
cross-referencing. Glassdoor is a decent website, yeah. I would look on Glassdoor. It's like a reference, but it's all like a culmination of different websites put together, right? So I would look at Glassdoor. What else? Look at Indeed. Look, Indeed and Glassdoor are saying something similar. These are big companies. Go to salary.com. Are they saying something similar again?
Yeah,
And then we could take like the average of all that and say, hey, it seems like marketing specialists slash coordinators are getting paid a good top band around 69 cents. And you got to make sure the title is in line with what you're doing too. coordinator versus specialist is slightly different. Coordinator is usually one step below. So
Yeah.
you can deduct like, okay, if this is a specialist, a coordinator will be making 10 grand less or so. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah. But like I said, first job, wouldn't be too picky about that. Just take it as like, hey, now you're getting paid for it, right? And you're learning. And then
Yeah.
hey, if you're doing a great job, the promotions will come to you. Like if you're really good at what you do, you will know. Like people will be like, hey, do you want to, this position just open, do you want to go for it? Or other people will be approaching you and be, hey, do you want this? If there's a marketing specialist role, saw your LinkedIn profile, it's very impressive. I'll pay you double. And now you can have more conversation from there.
Yeah, an
That's what happened to
example
me.
exactly. An example that comes to mind is because I was doing the clips, from one of your videos, and in your video you were like, yeah, I went to Uber for less money so I can learn the experience. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Which one did you watch for that?
Uh, it's on our YouTube. I got
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
exact name of it, but
Yeah, I should make another video about that actually.
yeah,
And
that's
thank
a
you for
great.
mentioning. But sometimes, yeah, that's why I have this perspective because I literally took a step back. I was
Yeah.
making around 70. I took a step back for like 50-ish, but I learned in a bigger pool now. Like I went from a small pond to a big pond and I kind of reset. But that allowed me to get even more bigger opportunities after I did things outside of my comfort zone. And I took more kind of like a leadership role without even knowing it. I wanted other people to succeed. So I started organizing some trainings and meetings. And then my manager allowed it because I was hitting all my metrics. So hitting your metric first is what I've learned. And then doing your job well, and then allowing you to step outside of that and say, what else can I do to help out others? If you have that kind of mentality, you'll win at every single job that you go to. What can I do well? And then now it's like, yo, like imagine you were helping out Mariana, Rita, etc. Austin. Like everyone's gonna be saying, dude, I love Oliver. He's helping me out in so many different ways and just doing things I didn't even ask.
Yeah.
And myself too, right? So you got to think about yourself on how you're doing that.
Yeah.
There you go, man. So that is the difference between someone that sets themselves apart and is a true go-getter once they get that momentum going. And you know, at first I didn't realize other people when I was in the other seat of, man, why is this guy getting all the promos? I realized,
Yeah.
you know what, it's something that's just intrinsic for him, like just to, know his direction, know exactly what he's supposed to do. And then he does extra that's not even asked for him. And everyone appreciates that because it's like, yo, I didn't even ask you for this gesture. And you're spending time. You're going over and beyond what's expected.
For
You deserve
sure.
a promo. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
There you go, though, bro. And one more thing, keep accountable for yourself and let's share this tracker that we have together so that I can keep track of how many jobs you're applying to, just like how you are sending reach out messages on TikTok, 20 a week. Like it honestly needs to be 20 a day if you're really trying to land a job fast. Because that 20 a day will quickly compound and you're gonna get interviews. And from those interviews, we start interview prep, right? And then we interview prep so that you can ace that interview.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just,
So yeah. What was that?
I'm gonna share it with you right now.
Yeah, share with me and then just put all those and yeah, I know it's gonna be tough, man, but I gave you literally the secret sauce of doing all that and hopefully we land something soon. It just got posted 6 hours ago. Heck, I might even apply for some marketing roles too because I realized I think I have a passion for it, like helping people within marketing and just like that job search process that I just shared with you is actually kind of marketing as well.
Yeah. Speaking of, hold on. Somebody just emailed me about a partnership. I'll just send that to you right now, which is interesting.
Hold on. But
Um,
awesome.
Okay, yeah, I know what I need to do, and I will email you, or I'll share this with you so we can keep track together. But 20 a day, huh? 20 a day.
Honestly, that's what I recommended. And in this economy, plus a person with your tenure, you're just starting off. That's really what's required. You see the applicants, man. 20 a day or maybe like 15, and you're reaching out strategically to every hiring manager and
Yeah,
connecting with them. If
for
you do
sure.
that, then yeah, of course that's gonna take more time. So you can, but at the end of the day, that metric's for you. I don't get any gain from you applying to jobs besides the fact that like, hey, this is what you need to do to be successful, and I want you to be successful under my umbrella as well. That
Yeah,
definitely
definitely.
helps, but ultimately it's your job.
Definitely. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's it on my.
Awesome, man. I'm glad. Was that helpful?
Yeah, extremely helpful. I'm going
Yeah.
to uh get to work on that on today.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what we teach over here, and that's how a lot of people, secretly land jobs that you don't know about. But it takes that extra work, and this is
Yeah.
what techies do. Yeah, like my buddy asked me the other day, "Hey, can you get me connected to so and so?" And then because I just applied for this role, like just leveraging your connections, taking the extra time to get connected with someone to actually give you that intro, like, oh, actually, yeah, they are the person for this. And you're shaking hands virtually, basically, is what it means.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
All right. Is that all the questions that you have?
Yeah, that's pretty much all the questions that I have. I'm trying to think if I have anything else, but I don't think I do.
Awesome. I I can't remember if we worked on your LinkedIn entirely yet.
No, we
Let me
haven't worked
just
on my
quickly
LinkedIn
check.
yet.
So you're supposed to work on your LinkedIn before you even apply, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
So yeah, let me see. Yeah, you should start that. So I mean, it's a the 4-step framework.
The one that we teach,
Yeah,
the resume revamp, LinkedIn optimization, um, networking and interview.
yeah, but you missed number 2. We didn't even optimize your LinkedIn. You skipped to
Okay.
3.
Yeah,
So
no, I was it's funny too, because I just talked to Dan about that, and I'm supposed to be meeting with him this week about LinkedIn. I just wanted to meet with you too to see what your thoughts were. Um, but
that's a 4-step framework, man. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 for a reason.
so okay, so then
Yeah,
fix my LinkedIn first.
yeah, because like imagine your LinkedIn profile is not filled out and you're applying, easy apply. It goes off of your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, true. That,
So the people seeing your profile that you've applied and you have no results is because they're just seeing one
the
line of
timeline,
just
yeah,
one line that you've done. Like so they'll be like Oliver, social media marketing intern, that's it. Instead of I've done this, this, and this. I know how to do digital ad strategy, so create content on Instagram, help grow the account from 20K to 30K. Right? You have none of that. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So you
for sure.
actually shot yourself in the foot for those opportunities potentially. But that's why it's one resume and the LinkedIn. Now you see it. So maybe that's why you were getting the butt.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
There you go, man.
Okay, I will work on that too.
There you go.
I don't
Awesome,
know.
man. So yeah, mirror that. We can you can set up time with Dan to go over how your resume translates to your LinkedIn
Okay.
and what you've worked on. But I would have everything prepared for him, so that's you're making his life easier on like what you did for MPH. And
Yeah.
so the reach outs, the tools that you know, everything. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Okay. All right, man.
All right,
Talk to you
bro.
later.
Talk to you
Bye.
later.